We are back with more exciting Smash Bros. News, and it's a lot more interesting this time around. We got new assist trophies, Pokemon, and a new mechanic. This is NSBD! What they are doing with Diddy is interesting in my opinion. Like Chris and I talked about last week, they seem to be making characters more powerful, yet have more weaknesses. I really like that idea. It makes playing as them fun, yet challenging. Diddy's rockets always frustrated me in Brawl, as I can never control it properly. Now it seems to be a more effective way to do damage with its increased blast radius. Plus, now it has more of a variety of usage with its new ability to move horizontally. However, it is riskier to use, since if Diddy is hit mid-air, the rockets will fall off. Thus, continuing this new Smash Bros. Theme of having characters be more fun to use, but also more of a challenge, as opposed to Brawl's slow-paced feel, in order to balance out the characters. This update was interesting to me because it seemed to confirm what a lot of people were wondering about. Ever since Little Mac was revealed, the Smash Bros. Arena that we've seen many times in trailers was shown to be a Punch-Out arena instead. The Smash Bros. Logo was replaced by the Punch-Out logo, and many of the background designs were changed to suit Punch-Out instead of a generic Smash Bros. Arena. A lot of people thought that the Smash Bros. Logo was just there to mask Punch-Out's increased role in the game for the screenshots, while others thought that there were two different versions of the arena. Of course, the latter was confirmed, which is interesting to know. I'm kind of curious why there are two versions of the arena. I personally prefer the Punch-Out style because otherwise it feels like a generic Smash Bros. Stage instead of from a series. I kind of have a theory for this, but I doubt it is true. Perhaps they were going for a generic Smash Bros. Arena that was inspired by Punch-Out and only decided to put Little Mac in later on in the development of the game. Then they decided to make the arena Punch-Out themed to give the newcomer a stage, and decided to keep the old Smash Bros. Arena because they had already designed it. It's just a theory of mine, I doubt it is true. Anyways, having two different versions of the same arena is kind of pointless, but at the same time, what's the harm? Every new installment of the Smash Bros. Series, there has been a major gameplay change. Melee introduced side specials, and Brawl introduced final smashes. I never really realized until this screenshot was shown, but we have not seen a new mechanic for this game yet until today. While finishing moves isn't as important as the previous two major gameplay changes, it certainly does change a lot for the better. Believe it or not, but finishing moves actually make a character worse. For example, you can no longer mash the A button to deal damage with fast characters, as eventually they will always transition into a finish move and give the opponent an opportunity to strike. This is what will balance many characters, such as the broken Meta Knight. He is broken because he can essentially do 5 slashes per second. However, with these finishing moves, he will not be able to be so cheap. I really like this idea. Not only does it spice things up, but it also prevents people from mashing the A button with a faster character to win. A lot of people aren't happy that Waluigi is confirmed to be an assist trophy again, but all I can say is thank God! I mean, while he is pretty awesome in my eyes, he doesn't really exist. All his personality comes from what he looks like and sounds, and not what he has done. Because in reality, Waluigi only appears in spin-off games as a filler character spot. He has never had his own game, or even appeared in a main series Mario or Wario game. The only thing he's good for is to be a character in a multiplayer game. So I can understand why he was not made a character, and most likely never will. He just does not deserve it. This once again makes me feel Nintendo is not scraping the bottom of the barrel. That being said, we did not really see him much in this screenshot, but most likely he does the same thing he did in Brawl with no real difference, much like Starfy. But this screenshot was more interesting to me because he is confirmed not to be playable like so many people wanted him to be. Ugh, dedenne! I really hate this thing, and it's probably the worst out of all the Pikachu clones. That being said, I am so relieved he is not playable. I mean, thank God. Because out of all the Generation 6 Pokemon, dedenne was the most likely to be playable, much how Pichu was in Melee. But dedenne is another goddamn Pikachu clone just being made to rip off Pikachu's success, like the many other Pokemon being made for the same reason. Anyways, what it does isn't very shocking, pun intended. It emits a circle of electricity, which will most likely zap anyone nearby. Not the most creative Pokeball Pokemon, but it seems to be pretty impacting, so you more than likely want to get the hell out of there, or you'll be zapped. It is nice to see Generation 6 is getting some attention in this game, as Xerneas is also more than likely a Pokeball Pokemon. I really look forward to seeing other new Pokemon included in this game and see what they do, but we just need a Generation 5 Pokeball Pokemon now. And that concludes this week's coverage of the daily pictures for Super Smash Bros. Wii U and Super Smash Bros. 3DS. Subscribe and stay tuned for more coverage on future pictures.